sun is shining, the fountain is blasting, the discs are flying. Are you ready? The Disc Golf Pro Tour season starts in 10 seconds. Circle Zero is here to take you to the start of the first event of the 2018 Disc Golf Pro Tour, the Memorial presented by Discraft. I'll be your host over the next several minutes. My name is Dixon Jowers, and let's get into the information about this tournament. Since 2011, this tournament has been contested 7 times. Paul McBeth has won 5 of those championships, and the 2 that he lost them in a playoff. That's right, over the last 7 years, at the end of the 72nd hole at this tournament, Paul McBeth has been first or tied for first every single time. And it's not only that he's beating the other competitors at these events, it's that he is beating the best players in the game. Paul's average over those last 7 tournaments is 1066. That is a fantastic mark, and it means that any of these other golfers want to win, they're going to have to shoot 4 amazing rounds. Not just 1, not just 2, not just 3. You have to shoot all 4 good rounds. There is no margin for error out here. So looking at the players list, there are 7 other players that are rated 1030 or higher. And we will also throw Big Germ Coling in there, since he is the one person that has beaten Paul in the last 3 years here, doing so in 2015. Taking these 8 players as a group, we can try to predict their future success by looking at their recent finishes. We will take Josh Anthon out of this analysis because he has not played here in the last 3 years. Looking at this chart, we can see that Simon's average of 1058 is the closest to Paul's over these last 3 years. Paul's average being just a little bit over 1064. And then we have Ricky coming in third for recent finishes with an average of 1050 out here in Arizona. Rick and Simon are the only 2 players on this list that have had 3 great finishes each of those years. Every other player has had at least 1 finish outside of the top 10. And you can see, looking at the average rating as well as looking at the average finish, all of these players are at a statistical disadvantage to Paul. Now, that does not mean that none of them could win. It just means that the odds are stacked against them. And let us not forget that this is the location of Paul's incredible round of only 39 strokes, statistically rated as the best round in the history of recorded disc golf. There are many great golfers here, but if they want to beat Paul, they are going to have to bring their A game. Now let's switch over to the FPO ranks and see about the competition there. We see an equal amount of domination coming from Texas' own Paige Pierce. Last year, Paige won this tournament by shooting an average 991 rating and winning the tournament by 13 strokes. And she didn't just beat a field of nobodies. The 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place finishers last year were the last 3 women to win Worlds not named Paige Pierce. Paige has averaged a startling 982 over the past 3 years. The best that anyone else can muster is Katrina Allen with a 956 average, a full 2.5 strokes per round behind Paige if the ratings hold true. Katrina is also the only other person to win this event in the last 3 years. As we head out to the course, anything can happen. History tells us that Paul and Paige will win this event. However, history is not playing this weekend. Which of your favorite golfers will be the one to bring the challenge?
Flashlight LED disc golf discs just changed the game. The unique Disco Select feature allows everyone to choose their own color by simply pressing the middle button, then pressing it again during the first rotation of colors when the one you want appears. Or you can leave it in disco mode, rotating through the 6 different colors for the duration of your game. Designed by serious professionals, crafted from Night Eye's unrivaled sure grip material, and featuring Night Eye's patented fiber optics array, these discs strike the perfect balance of durability, stability, performance, and just plain awesomeness. With easily replaceable batteries and an uber-long life, the Flash Flight driver, mid-range, and putter will shine as they blaze your path to victory, day or night. Night Eyes. Discover your solution.
You know, we've all seen the story of Ricky over the last several years, right? You know, you won Am Worlds, right?
Yep, 2010 I won Junior Am Worlds.
Junior Am Worlds, and you've kind of been coming up on the scene. I don't know if you remember, you beat me at the match play championships in like 2011 or something, yeah. And I was like, everybody's like, oh, this kid's great. And I was like, oh, he's a kid. I'm going to kick his butt.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so, you know, I'm not bitter or anything, but, you know, your tires might be slashed is all I'm saying. That's, you know, so we've kind of seen the growth over the last several years, and everybody's kind of got this picture in their head of who Ricky is. You know, this kind of cold-blooded, ice in his veins. But even right now, you're smiling. Like, I know you to be not that guy off the course.
Yep.
So, what's the real Ricky? Is it the ice-blooded guy? Is it the goofy guy? Who's the real Ricky?
So there's 2 sides to me, and as you just said, there's the tournament mode, everyone calls it, and everyone on tour knows that when I get to tournament mode, come the start of the tournament, it's all serious, all focused, and then, you know, come Monday, then it's all smiles. So I can be both. It's either, for me, it's either all smiles or all focus.
You said, you know, once Monday comes, you're a different guy. So what are you doing? If we took disc golf out of your life, what would you spend your time doing?
I enjoy a lot of different sports. I've always been athletic. I've always been playing basketball. I go bowling, cornhole, ice skating. I do it all.
Have you ever played cornhole while ice skating?
Actually, no. That's a good question, but I have not.
Okay, so you didn't just play baseball. I mean, like, you were pretty far into baseball, right? And looking at maybe doing like college career playing baseball, right?
Yeah. I've always, you know, in high school actually is when I kind of took a break. You know, it's basically I made the decision whether I wanted to put all my eggs in baseball or all my eggs in disc golf. And in high school, I decided to choose baseball. It's a funny story, actually. My dad forced me to try out. I didn't really want to because I was getting heavy into disc golf at the time. And so I actually ended up going to tryouts in baseball, and I actually ended up butchering it on purpose. I started like bobbling ground balls. I always played shortstop, making bad throws to first, and just so I didn't make the team, so that way I had more time to play disc golf. And so, looking back at it, it was probably not the greatest idea, but I was striking out in batting practice during tryouts and stuff, just so that I could tell my dad I didn't make it, so I could, you know, go have more time for tournaments and practice at the local course, getting repetitions and good practice for this.
So hopefully he's not finding that out right now.
Yeah, good thing he's not tech savvy. He's not going to watch this.
So he doesn't know you tanked the tryout on purpose?
No, he still doesn't know. So don't tell him, please, next time you see him at a tournament.
Do you enjoy giving the lessons? Some people, if you know, ask Michael Jordan, how are you good at basketball? He's like, well, you just throw it in the basket. You just jump and dunk on people, right? Like, are you able to translate your skills to tell somebody that doesn't know very much about disc golf, or do you find that you're able to communicate that well?
It's funny because I used to be really bad at it. I used to just be like, people would try to ask me, I'd be like, just chuck it down the fairway. If you hit a tree, you make it in.
Just putt it. It goes in.
Putt it up
Every time I throw it, it goes in.
Right. So that's the funny thing is I can relate to what Michael Jordan has said, because early in my career I was like that. I didn't know what I was doing. I just knew that if I reached my arm back and hook it as far as I could throw it in the direction I wanted to and hit the putt. No, but yeah. So there's always the joke on tour right now that yeah, you just hum it down the fairway, and if you hit a tree, you make the longer putt. If you don't hit a tree, you're parked. Yeah.
Speaking of your mechanics, was the Raptor legs, was that thought out? Did that happen organically? Or now do you hit a big putt and do you think, I have to do that? Everybody's expecting me to do that?
Right.
How does that work?
Yeah, so it's kind of just like, to answer your question, it's been organically created basically throughout. I think the first time I did it was actually at the Masters Cup a couple years back. And I just made a long putt, and I had so much emotion, I didn't know what to do. I was like, I'm so pumped right now, what do I do?
I think we've seen that putt once or
exactly.
twice.
So I just kind of like started running all crazy and like, I didn't care what I was doing.
Basket.
Yeah, I didn't care what people thought of what I was doing. I was just so pumped, I didn't care about anything. So that was kind of like, that's where it got created. And then now, like you said, people are expecting me, if I hit a long putt late in a round or something for a win, then people are like, oh, break out the Raptor legs. It's kind of like trademark now that if I make a long putt, then I got to Raptor leg it. And so people are always saying, oh, is that Raptor range? And I always tell people, it's got to be outside 40 feet to be Raptor range.
Raptor range, a 10-footer to win a
exactly.
tournament?
It doesn't work like that. You gotta have some time because you got to get those high legs. So you got to have like at least 40 feet before, otherwise you're running to the basket.
Hey there, I'm Keith Murray, Tournament Director of the Memorial Championship presented by Discraft. We're at Spinners on the Green in Scottsdale, Arizona. I just want to welcome everybody here to town. Good luck this week. Come by and see us at the shop. We got 10% off for all tournament competitors and even the folks coming out to watch. So check us out online as well, spinnersonthegreen.com, and have fun watching Smashbox TV.
For me, it's time with my friends.
For me, it's a walk in the park.
For me, it's my job.
For me, it's fun.
What's up, guys? This is Will Schustrick, three-time United States Disc Golf Champion. We're on Hole 2 of Fountain Hills Disc Golf Course in Fountain Hills, Arizona. Hole 2 comes in at a par 4, 703 feet with water on the left-hand side and out of bounds on the right-hand side. The fairway isn't too tight on this hole. One of the most important aspects of this hole is the gradual hill that goes across the entire embankment. The player is looking to either throw a forehand over the water on the left-hand side and come back towards the downslope, which is just towards the water. That creates a slightly easier second shot to attack the basket. Some players will go with a big right to left hyzer shot, really only trying to get 280 to 300 feet off the fairway, and then attack the basket on their second shot. Players will get in trouble by leaving their second shots a little too short, which gives them a skip and going out of bounds short left of the basket. The little slope in front of the basket allows the disc to skip too much if a player leaves their shot too short, which will skip it right into the water and out of bounds. You see a lot of players try to keep their disc wide, and what I tried to do on this hole is come in and land right at that palm tree with a disc that does not skip too much. This is the second hole of the round, so it's going to be interesting to watch the player either keep it wide and play for the par, or try to land it right at that palm tree and make a putt for birdie. Thanks for watching this Course Cuts with Prodigy Course Design.
Hello everybody and welcome to our Patreon thank you. This is where we say thank you to all of our Patreons and specifically those giving $25 and more who will be receiving a Silly Pint from this event. This year we've made 9 different colored Silly Pints plus our championship Silly Pint. If you'd like to get them all, sign up quick because you only have, well, presuming it's still, I don't even know what day it is. Anyway. So, on to it. A big thank you to our $25 and up Patreons. These people give us $25 a month. In return, we say thank you, and we send them a Silly Pint from every event. Our $25 and up Patreons are Patrick Yo, Joseph Culp, Christopher Morris, Full Pores, Edwin Silvera, Tobin, Mike Cullerton, Alan Risley, Brian Megason, Daniel Reynoso, and Sam Martinson. Thank you guys very much. Stay tuned. We're going to do the raffle in just 1 second. All right, so here we are at day 1. We have 58 Patreons from 2017 who didn't get the daily giveaways that they were promised. So, in 2018, we're going to be doing 2 drawings. The first one is for the 2017 folks. The second one is for the 2018 folks. If you'd like to get in these daily drawings, go to patreon.com/DGPT. Become a Patreon, and thank you very much. Your support helps make all of this possible. So, first things first, our Patreon, we had 58 Patreons in 2017. We will randomly generate a number, and number 38 is our first winner. And I'll go to the other sheet in just a second and figure out who that is. And in 2019, we have 75. And let's randomly generate the winner for that. Remind me it's number 38, okay? For the first pick. And the second one is number 54. So we go to the sheet and we scroll down to number 38, which is Andrew Clausen. Drucifer. Andrew is the guy that made our bracket for us. That was a very nice first pick. And what was the second number? It was 54. And so 54 is Benjamin Cockrell, who is, well, it's covered up where he's from. So Benjamin Cockrell, congratulations. You and Andrew Clausen have both won a Silly Pint. It will be on its way to you. We have your mailing addresses right here in Patreon, so all you need to do is sit back and enjoy the show. Thank you all very much, and we'll do it again tomorrow. Bye.
Welcome back, my plastic hucking brethren, to the Disc Golf Pro Tour. Hopefully, it hasn't been too long for your chain addiction to endure. We're back again to scratch that itch as we start off the year with the Memorial Championship. 38 states and 6 countries circumvent on Fountain Hills and Vista del Camino for this opening event. The touring vehicles have been stuff-packed with the necessary accommodations, with each pro having double-checked they've packed enough concentration. Inks dried on the lines of sponsorships, and the goals have been set, for it's time to execute the script and set new personal bests. The fans have flocked to see plastic bees travel by drastic trees, throws that defy gravity, and pros that react passionately to the ability of delivery to the disc catchers accurately. The underdogs and the big names who've spent this offseason making adjustments to their games are anxious to get this tournament underway. For fortune and fame, they're ready to take aim out here in Mother Nature's crafted fairways. So sit back and recline as competitors launch monstrous throws that'll tingle your spine, appreciating the elegant touch needed to dominate the technical aspects. Happily indulge the effortless throws that make your eyes bulge as you're captivated by those created to put plastic into baskets. Without further ado, we send it over to our live crew that will satisfy your heart with its live motion stills. To Terry the loquacious, too soon, I know, how audacious, who's live on T1 in Scottsdale, Arizona at Fountain Hills.
These are the top 10 putts from the 2017 Memorial Championship presented by Discraft. Number 10, Isaac McDonald on the 18. Yeah! What, Isaac? Number 9, Cale Lavisco, hole 5.
Oh, Cale Lavisco.
Boom, buddy.
Number 8, Nate Sexton, hole 10.
Oh, wow. Tasty one right through that bush.
Number 7, Nate Sexton, hole 16.
That's 180 right there.
Number 6, Eagle McMahon, hole 8.
Okay, good.
Number 5, Cale Lavisca, hole 4.
Yeah!
Number 4, Simon Lazat, hole 6.
Well done.
Number 3, Philo Brathwaite, 17.
Framed up. Nice. Awesome putt.
Between the trees. Number 2, Jessica Weiss, hole 6.
Ooh, dude. That was sick.
And our number 1 putt from the 2017 Memorial.
Yeah. Nope.
What?
Nate Sexton, hole 12.
Nate, you dog.
If you're fortunate enough or skilled enough, whichever way you want to look at it, to start picking up a couple birdies in a row and everything's feeling good. I mean, I'm not really thinking about anything. I'm just sort of supremely confident that I can birdie the next hole and the next hole and the next hole. And until you get surprised and can't do it, you just kind of keep going and then, take it from there. But it's just, you don't have to think much when you're playing really well.
You limit thoughts. That's so if you're just feeling it, to me, I just kind of tune everything out and just stay really present, stay in the moment. Who cares what you did 4 holes ago? It really doesn't matter. It's all about, it's the cliche, it's all it takes to one shot at a time, but it really is the truth. And when you're feeling in the zone, it's just ride it as long as you can. Try to not get distracted, not talk about what's going on.
I grew up playing with the legend Nate Doss, and he always taught me that no matter what happens, good or bad, ace or bogey, try to stay relaxed. Try to stay even keel. Don't get too excited when you do something good, and don't get too angry when you do something bad. It's the hardest thing to do.
And you have to, when things are going really great, you have to just step up and just go. Because you know that your body, your muscles, everything are so perfectly in tune that if you get your brain in the way, you're destined for failure. That's the thing that you're always thinking, well, is this happening because of, is this lucky or whatever it might be? You have to stand there and say, no, I'm doing this because I prepared myself to do it, I'm ready to go, and really, that's what it is.
Basically what the zone is no thoughts and feeling like you're the only one out there, you know, and everyone's here to watch you, and you're putting on a show. So it's basically just stepping up to every shot, nothing in your mind, knowing you're going to make it, and you know, just knowing people are there to watch you. And it's exciting knowing that feeling, because you're walking down the fairway and you see people smiling or you see people angry. There's no in between. They're either loving that you're playing well or they're hating it.
Johnny, I gotta run back because, yep. Oh, perfect.
These are the top 5 approach shots from the 2017 Memorial, presented by Discraft. Number 5, Paul McBeth. Number 4, Cale Laviston on the par 4 hole 7. Number 3, Philo Raffle. 400-ish from here. Yeah, I think so. Hole 4. That's a good shot right there. Perfect shot. Number 2, Jessica Weiss on the par 4, hole 8.
Oh, that was nasty. Well done.
And our number 1 approach, Sarah Hopa, hole 6.
Also four-handed. Overstable man in here.
Putt.
Oh, what? In the wind. Yeah. Sarah is...
The Disc Golf Pro Tour and the Memorial Championship presented by Discraft present Hot Drives from 2017, Part 2. Number 5, Simon Lizotte, hole 1.
As soon as he let this go, he turned around and said, I missed it again.
Yep.
But
right.
Nearly.
Number 4, Katrina Allen, hole 16.
Definitely get this one. That doesn't one. Oh, man.
Just bing.
Were you ready for that one to skip in quick?
I was, man. I was so excited.
Number 3, Ricky Wysocki, hole 17.
It's going showtime here.
Flight follower.
Oh, I think it would have been just over the basket, maybe, now that I see it here.
Number 2, Simon Lizotte, again, back to hole 16.
That was pretty sweet, man.
If that was a golf ball, he would have stuck it.
Yeah.
And number 1, Philo Brathwaite, hole 5.
Oh! I heard the cheers.
The The Disc Golf Pro Tour and the Memorial Championship presented by Discraft proudly present these top drives of 2017. Number 5, Kale Laviska on hole 6. Takes the low route. Pins it.
Good shot, Kale. Wow.
Number 4, Dave Feldberg, hole 13. Skipper. Number 3, Nico Locastro, hole 4.
Tends to block every putt that wants to go towards that basket.
Here's that lower line, which is more what you're supposed to do.
Number 2, Nate Sexton, also hole 6, taking the high route.
Kind of like 60% sharp angle.
Yeah, yours was a little bit lower than mine, but off the pole. A little touch of the pole.
Number 1, in part 1 of our top drive, Paige Pierce on hole 1.
Unless your name is Paige Pierce and you're looking to win a tournament, that looks perfect.
I feel for anybody that has bad days just because we all have them. So I always try to like tell people like, you know, let's just keep going, keep moving. It's just one shot. The same thing I would tell myself. Try to give them a little reinforcement even as a competitor, because the better your competitors play, you normally, you know, you're going to try to play better than that also. So just try to positive vibe, push something out there and give them a little word of confidence.
I try to encourage them. It's tough. It's really tough because we've all been there where, you know, you kind of get into this cycle of despair. You know, it's like disc golf, that happens in disc golf to all of us, and you know what it feels like, and it's tough to know the right thing to say to somebody.
It's just a situational thing. If it's one of my best friends, I'm going to try to help him out and be like, hey, come on, man, you got this. And if it's someone I don't know, I'm kind of just going to be like, well, I mean, you're kind of on your own. I don't know you. I'm not going to approach you like, hey, you got it. You know, it's a hard thing to help someone with when you don't know them.
Can that affect your game when it happens?
Yeah, I mean, there's people who freak out all the time and are known for that, and it affects people in the group, but sometimes you just have to look past it and just worry about yourself and let them do what they're going to do, because they're going to do it no matter what.
Sure, yeah. I mean, I actually, like, I'm a big advocate of kind of like a good mojo amongst the group and how that can positively influence everybody. So I always try and root for everybody on the card. I think if you're ever in a position where you're rooting for somebody or not rooting for somebody and then they do good stuff, it can negatively impact you. And so it's always about trying to keep a positive energy on the card and, you know, ultimately all moving up on, you know. I actually think that's a really important thing, and people you're playing with and everybody staying positive, getting along, rooting for each other, that kind of feeling that everybody has, I think leads to success.
For me, it's time with my friends.
For me, it's a walk in the park.
For me, it's my job.
For me, it's fun.
Hello everyone and welcome to the 2018 Disc Golf Pro Tour opener, the Memorial Championships presented by Discraft. I'm Terry Miller, the Disc Golf Guy, and we're going to get right to the action. We've got a great group for you, including Paul McBeth, Nate Doss, Seppu Paju, and Ricky Wysocki. We're on hole number 1 at Fountain Hills with the action.
All right everyone, we're ready to start the 2:20 tee time. First up, Nate Doss.
And Nate Doss off to the right side here on hole number 1. Plenty of safety on that right side here at 393 feet.
All right, next up, representing Innova Champion Disc and 4-time world champ, Paul McBeth.
Paul McBeth is going to need a little bit more legs to make sure it gets there. And that comes up short on the opening drive. Paul McBeth did not find inbounds area on the green side. He'll be reteeing. And Paul McBeth almost puts that one in for the circle 3. However, it skips just past the basket and then trickles into the water.
Representing Prodigy Disc, Seppu Paju.
And from Prodigy Disc, Seppu Paju on the tee. Seppu plays that high and wide right. We'll see if it's got enough legs. And it sticks. Rarely do you not see a skip on this green. The damp grass may have prevented that.
Representing Latitude 64, 2-time world champion, Ricky Wysocki.
And Wysocki also wide to the right. That's going to come in nicely. We'll see if that sticks. And it comes up just past the basket. We're going to see how the women did earlier from the short tee on hole 1. We'll be back in a few moments.
The Memorial Championships presented by Discraft starts off on hole number 1 at Fountain Hills. Katrina Allen on the tee and a great shot that hits the tree and rolls more than 50 feet backwards. That looked like it would have finished right under the pin. Paige Pierce, last year's champion, gets it up high enough, but just not enough power. She covers the edge. She'll have a look at a possible par from there. And Colleen Thompson, a Midwest transplant, came down to Arizona a few years ago, said she's staying here, but unfortunately she's found the water on her first tee shot. This is to save her par from outside the circle.
Good height.
Paige says it's good height, but it's wide right. She's going to start off with a bogey. Paige left with less than 20 feet to save her par, but off the top of the chains. That's a head scratcher. Cat walks away with the par. We've got a bogey and a double to start.
Nate Doss lays it up under the basket. Ricky cards the birdie too. Next up we'll have Paul. He went OB on his first 2 drives, so throwing 5. And he makes the putt. Seppo's going to clean up his birdie. And then Nate will finish out with his par. And with a left to right wind, Paju plays it safe and goes up into the right of the initial trees here off the tee. Wysocki playing that left to right. Great forehand drive here on this par 4, one of only 2. Doss plays the low skip shot on the right side. And McBeth takes the same route we see from Doss. We'll see how the women did on hole 2 earlier.
Hole 2 this year at Fountain for the women features a shorter basket placement. Still a par 4, but a much shorter basket placement. Katrina Allen finds one of the 2 goalpost trees on the right side. And following suit, Paige Pierce. Colleen's going to try and split the uprights, but she does the exact same thing. Katrina's second shot shouldn't really get anywhere near the OB water on that left side. There is OB on the right side that parallels hole number 3. She's still considerably short. Colleen and Paige looking at very similar approach shots. It's very chilly out here in the morning round, looking at temperatures in the low 50s or high 40s. We see a few of the women bundled up.
That's fine.
And she kept it low. We'll be back.
And McBeth with a stiff left to right wind. Looks to have a really good angle on that. Just on the high side of the pin. It curls just short. Looking to recover from that bogey off the first hole. And right now it looks as if our card is holding up for just a few moments. We see the second card teeing on hole number 3, which runs adjacent to the hole 2 fairway. Again, just waiting on the second card, or the second to last card of the day, that is, to throw their tee shots here on hole number 3.
Cool. Thank you. I'll be right there. Thank you.
Looks like Minnesota's Kale LaVisca had just thrown a tee shot and put it about 15 feet past the pin on 3. And after a tombstone landing here by Seppo, he'll be next to throw. And Seppo with a little bit of an uphill stance as he was running up to his lie. Keeps it very low. Doss third to throw. And Doss knows he might have misfired a little bit, hanging that out wide to the right. Definitely staying away from the OB lake on the left side. Wysocki, after his forehand drive, will be fourth to approach. And Wysocki's wide to the right, gets around the tree. He'll be looking back at the basket with the OB on a downslope behind him. Let's check in with the women who completed hole 2 a little earlier to the shorter basket.
Katrina's third shot leaves her with a standstill approach. Still has to deal with the slope on the side. even to this short basket. That puts her within 15 feet of the pin. A one step for Colleen. Even herself with a long tester on that right side. Paige Pierce with enough distance. She's going to go for a running jump putt, and that puts her right next to the basket. Colleen's got a little work to do to save the par, but she does just that. And Paige Pierce with the cleanup. Allen's going to make sure on her little tap in. We're moving on to a very birdieable hole 3.
Go to Rick. Go to Rick. And Doss finds himself outside of circle 2. He's looking at about 80 feet. Really, not much more he can do there than other than lay it up. Seppu is just outside circle 2 as well. He's looking at about 70, maybe 72 feet. Low, not taking any chances. There's really no need to risk anything here on that putter approach. And it must be the top of the hour as we see the fountain just starting to go off. And that's got to sit down for Ricky, and it's going to do so. He comes up short. That is dangerous. When they catch edge, and McBeth is going to go ahead and make up a little bit for that mishap on hole number 1. He's going to take the only birdie here. Ricky will be later thinking about that inside the circle putt. Missed opportunity. The rest have pars. We're going to move over to the short, hole 3, in just a few moments. Back it up. And McBeth to play the natural hyzer here as it pushes from right to left. As I said, this hole runs parallel to hole number 2. Seppo letting the underside of the disc get caught, however, like the previous approach, that one sticks. And Ricky's gonna need a skip flare. There's OB on that left side. Doss is going to push this right side OB. It catches enough edge, and that finishes inbounds. The women did earlier on hole 3.
At just 294 feet, the women are playing the exact same hole as the men here on hole number 3. Eyes are out to the right side to the elevated basket. Katrina playing the skip perfectly on the wet morning grass. Paige opts for teeing off to the side of the tee pad, going with the natural approach. A very similar result coming up just short and left of the basket. Paige, you can see warming up her hand. It's very cold out here. A few of the women were excited that they found some hand warmers as they were heading out. Last couple of weekends have been cold disc golf for these women. Elevated basket, birdie putt for Paige Pierce. And with the basket just a bit taller than Kat, she taps in. That's a birdie for Katrina Allen. Moving to the downhill, hole number 4, to the shorter pin.
And Wysocki is in from 28 feet. He picks up his mini in a little bit of disgust. Maybe a little bit of frustration, as maybe wasn't pleased with a wide left drive there forehand. Doss is within 22 feet. Looking at a really good potential for star frame here, as Nate Doss is also in for birdie. I'd like to thank you guys for joining us here on a Wednesday afternoon, opening round of the Memorial Championships. McBeth for his second birdie in 2 holes. And Seppo cleans up the star frame. That's 4 for 4 on hole number 3. We'll join you from the 4th tee in a few moments. Paul McBeth with back-to-back birdies on 2 and 3s on the tee. And McBeth knows immediately that's not what he was trying to do. It looks like that's going to be left and up on the hillside. Seppo hangs it out, playing over the OB the entire way. He's looking for it to push left. Finds himself in the rock island. Wysocki splitting the difference between McBeth and Seppo's throws. He gets hung up short. Nate Doss gets that to turn over just briefly. That's a Z force coming down. Looks to be short. We'll see how the women did as that continues to roll toward the pin, and he's just 15 feet away.
A new shorter pin position for the women here on hole number 4. Comes in at just 350 feet. Paige is able to play the wide hyzer out to the right. Oh, but it doesn't fight through the trees. She's going to be out of bounds and have to go back way early.
Yeah, Colleen. I like that. Great shot.
Colleen plays it just a bit tighter. Skips up on the mound. As long as it sits down and doesn't roll towards the road, she's looking at a birdie. Paige, awkward footing. Looks like she's maneuvered just fine and puts herself right next to the basket. She's going to be able to save bogey from there. Colleen Thompson looking at the only birdie on the card, and she gets it.
Right now, Paul McBeth and Ricky Wysocki are walking over to where Seppo's disc had ultimately come to rest. I believe that area is in fact marked off as out of bounds. And Seppo will bring it 1 meter out, or should I say up to 1 meter. And just in front of the basket is Seppo's attempt at saving par. Wysocki finds himself about 6, maybe 8 feet inside the circle. But first we're going to have Paul McBeth, who is at about 45 feet. Oh, and McBeth lunges forward, grabbing left side chain. What a great bid. Trying to get his third birdie in a row. And about halfway there, Wysocki knew he was connecting here on hole number 4, navigating underneath the tree branch. And Doss finds himself within 15 feet. He's going to carve the birdie. Seppo left with a little bit of a tester here. There should be a tap in for someone of his skill set and caliber. And just as I say that, Seppo continues to struggle here on this 4th hole. After throwing OB on his tee shot, he doesn't get up and down to save the bogey 4. That's a painful one here on the 4th hole. We've got a long walk moving over to hole number 5. We'll be back in a few moments.
For me, it's time with my friends.
For me, it's a walk in the park.
For me, it's my job.
For me, it's fun.
Hole number 5, 270 feet. This is also a shorter pin as Colleen plays the left to right bend. OB on the right side and deep of the basket as well. Trina's flips up, turns over. That puts her in putting range. Paige Pierce also playing the left to right, flirting with the OB. The curve might have saved her. And now she's looking at less than 25 feet. Oh, and another missed opportunity by Pierce. That slips through the chains. Colleen's heating up. That's another birdie. She'll be the only one on the card for the uphill hole 6 coming up next.
There you go.
And McBeth had about 45 feet. He does not connect with any metal. And he actually goes up onto the sidewalk where it's out of bounds. It looks like it stayed in bounds from where I'm standing. However, you may be seeing one of our other angles. Wysocki, when he missed, actually flirted with the OB as well for a moment. Wysocki very frustrated with himself after not making that putt. I saw him having a little conversation. I guess it was outwardly, but yet to himself. And McBeth will tap in. So Doss with the lone birdie. We have a very short walk over to 6. We'll see you in a moment from the hilltop. Wysocki with a lazy hyzer that just fades down to the ground. Players want to make sure they finish left rather than right on this hole. If you catch the right side hill, you may fall into the OB road. And Seppo with more angle, however, it looks like it sits for him. We're going to move up the hill and see how the women did on hole 6.
Hole number 6, 233 feet, one of the shortest holes. Not able to get up and over the trees. Katrina Allen. Paige is going to hang it up higher and wider. You need this one to sit down. If you hang it up to the right, it easily can get on edge and roll to the OB road. Meanwhile, Katrina Allen, a little bit too much power. Colleen Thompson's putter's heating up, and she takes another birdie from outside circle 1 this time. Gallops to the basket. Paige Pierce wants a little bit of that love.
Hell yeah.
Katrina Allen struggling here, and that one slips out. She's going to take the bogey, a 2-stroke swing between Katrina and Colleen. Meanwhile, Paige Pierce finds the center of the chains.
And McBeth from just a foot inside the circle hits high right chain. Doss picks up another birdie. Seppo from inside 22 feet. And Wysocki stares it down, gives a little wave to the crowd, and McBeth is going to be left out of the birdie party here as he cards the 3. We're moving on to the very short hole 7. I see a backup on 8. We're glad you're here. Stay tuned. You're watching the 2018 Memorial Championships presented by Discraft.
Tempura Craft, USA. Double wall, 18/8 stainless steel construction. Keeps it cold while you're hot, keeps it hot while you're cold. Get your customized growlers, tumblers, and sports bottles. With a lifetime warranty and 1% back to the planet. Tempura Craft, USA. Temper your thirst.
And welcome back to the Nature Channel. We're watching a bald eagle hover about here on hole number 7. Doss going with a putter. He's about 15 feet from the pin. And Wysocki going overstable. I believe that's a harp. Goes overstable as that flexes back to try and land flat. McBeth goes with a Nova. Not going to get much ground play or skip from that. Goes exactly where you land. Let's check in with the women, then we'll come back and finish up with Seppo.
Hole number 7, the shortest hole at Fountain Hills Disc Golf Course at just 210 feet. Colleen Thompson looks to come in low, maybe a little bit tentative here as this plays to the Peninsula Green. Paige Pierce's is also short and to the right. Katrina Allen's going to walk up with an overstable putter. Hole 7, a must-get birdie out here at Fountain Hills. And she gets the safe sign. Meanwhile, Paige really just has the layup for an option. And Katrina Allen with less than 15 feet, but off the front of the cage. Her putting is not on today. Let's see if she picks it up. And Wysocki with the uphill stance. He's going to card the birdie 2 here on hole number 7. Part of the change for Doss. Seems to have his putting stroke on. Paul McBeth definitely frustrated as his putting stroke has been out of sorts on these first few holes. I saw him actually bend his Nova almost in half a moment ago. He certainly doesn't have it all there right now. Seppo taps in. We've got a long backup on hole 8. We'll be back with you with some action after a word from our sponsors. Stay tuned. The 2018 Memorial Championships presented by Discraft.
These are the top 5 approach shots from the 2017 Memorial, presented by Discraft. Number 5, Paul McBeth. Number 4, Cale Leviskin on the par 4 hole 7. Number 3, Philo
Sounds like
Brathwaite.
400-ish from here. Like a distance driver? Yeah, I think so.
Hole 4.
That's a good shot right there. Perfect shot.
Number 2, Jessica Weiss on the par 4 hole 8.
Oh, that was nasty. Well done.
And our number 1 approach, Sarah Hokum, hole 6.
Sarah also forehanded. Overstable man right here.
Putt.
Oh, what? Yeah. Sarah is.
The Disc Golf Pro Tour and the Memorial Championship presented by Discraft present Hot Drives from 2017, Part 2. Number 5, Simon Lizotte, hole 1.
As soon as he let this go,
He turned around and said, I missed it again.
yeah, but right.
Nearly.
Number 4, Katrina Allen, hole 16.
Definitely get this one. That doesn't work. Oh, man. Just bing. We ready for that one to skip in quick?
I was, man. I was so excited.
Number 3, Ricky Wysocki, hole 17.
It's going showtime here.
Flight follower.
Oh, I think it would have been just over the basket, maybe, now that I see it here.
Number 2, Simon Lizotte, again, back to hole 16.
That was pretty sweet.
Yeah. If that was a golf ball, he would have stuck it.
Yeah.
And number 1, Philo Brathwaite, hole 5.
Oh. I heard the cheers.
And it appears as if Eagle McMahon, who I believe is up next, it appears as if he's waiting for the green to clear. Eagle McMahon, of course, your Las Vegas Challenge winner, as the PDGA National Tour opened just a week ago, should I say 6 days ago. And as that card moves down the fairway, I'm sure we're going to get more action from both the fairway and the green of hole number 8. I believe we'll be back with you in a few moments as we're waiting for the third to last card of the day that needs to tee on hole number 8. I believe we have the third card, the second card, and then our feature card, which we're following, all on the tee of hole 8 at 570 feet, the par 4. Off in a distance, I see Nate Sexton. He has the all clear to throw. I've just also indicated as much. Nate Sexton playing a hyzer, easily clearing the trees and putting himself in nearly perfect position. That's going to somehow split the trees and getting about 30 more feet than we saw by Sexton. Definitely a much riskier route. Of course, you can be following along on udisclive.com. I'm about to check in with the scores myself. I've been running around all day here trying to get as much of the women's coverage put together for you. Learned a few things about editing and commentating here this morning, so I can promise that will improve as the weekend goes on. As I'm seeing, looks like Nico LaCastro is through 16 holes right now, sitting at 12 under par. Timo Nisanen sitting at 10 under in the clubhouse, and Simon Lizotte, who's through, he's also through 18 holes. Simon is completed and in the clubhouse at 9 under par on the day. Eric Oakley tied with him at 9 under. Tyler Grady from the East Coast sitting in a tie for 5th at 8 under par, along with Austin Turner and Austin Hannum. Holes 7, 8, and 9 all consecutively play with a peninsula green. And a layup here on the par 4. I believe that's Johannes. That may in fact be, is that Wisconsin's own Zachary Hallbach off in a distance? I'm not sure actually from where I'm standing. That looks like that may have been him that just threw on this approach shot here on hole number 8. Nate Sexton awarded with the luxury of a standstill approach. Feel a light wind pushing from left to right at the moment. And he knows that's low. We can hear him as it hits the side, but then kicks back down and into the water. He will be able to take it from there. However, he will be playing with an OB penalty from that spot. If he can make that putt, it looks like he may still walk away with the par 4. And just a few feet from where I'm standing, I'm also seeing Josh Anthon tee on hole number 9 as you're watching the approaches come in on 8. And just a moment ago I watched Zachariah Johnson launch a huge drive here on hole number 9's tee. Fourth and final tee will be Joe Rawling from Wisconsin. And a discussion continues on the green of hole number 8. Looks like everyone's verifying exactly where they were last in bounds and who's going to be putting next. A little bit of a lull in our featured card action. I'm glad you guys are with us right now. We'll be here for the next 3 days. Tomorrow we'll head over to the Vista del Camino course located in Scottsdale. Currently we are at the Fountain Hills Disc Golf course, about 30 minutes from the second course of the event. And Sexton's attempt at par is high. Does a little bit of a roll. However, it sits down. He's going to be walking away with the bogey 5. The second to last card of the day is waiting for this group to clear. Hopefully the pace will pick up here after we move off of hole number 8. 8 is, in fact, very well known for being a lengthy backup. And as these guys are clearing off of 8, we'll do a swivel up here on the tee of 9, and we should be able to simply rotate to give you the tee shots that are taking place on hole number 8. And we'll catch up with our second to last card of the day. Let's see if I can click on those internets, find me some udisclive.com. As we're standing here waiting, not sure exactly why they're not ready to go here on 8. Fighting through the backside of the tree. And just where we saw Nate Sexton a few moments ago. And not quite getting through the trees, but kicking out, and should have a good look from there. And here we'll be able to rotate back as they move down the fairway. We're going to, again, swivel over here to the tee of 9. And we'll see if we can pick up with some more action. Nate Sexton and the rest of the card on 9. And while we wait on 9, I think we'll see if we can wrangle up a special guest or two. And in just a moment, as we're waiting here, there seems to be a backup on 9. We'll see if they're teeing, and if not, we're going to catch up with Seth Muncie from Disc Golf Strong. Seth, there's a lot of action. We'll be able to talk in just a moment. We see people on 8. We see people behind us on 9. I'm excited to talk to you. Let's just see. All right. I think we're here. I think we're ready. First of all, you're taking in the action.
Yes.
There's people everywhere. What are you seeing out here?
I mean, the amount of amazing disc golf that's happening right now, especially with the wind kicking up a little bit. But, you know, it's just fantastic. The women this morning, FPO is just wonderful. I think it's going to tee off.
Again, everywhere I look, I see someone throwing a disc. It's hard to pay attention to all of them. As I just watched a tee shot on 9, I think we saw a great approach on 8, where I see Matt Dollar. He's sizing up his approach in a moment. This is Zach Hallback from Wisconsin. And your 2017 USDGC champion Nate Sexton going with a backhand. Johannes gets a round of applause, so we're going to shift back over to hole number 8. I see Cale Laviska throwing his approach shot. Comes up short, but it does stick on the safe side. When I think of Cale, I think about some of the social media we saw him post throughout this off-season, and Cale finds this luxury of getting into a dome-like area. It may be heated, but he's able to throw inside a dome in the Minnesota winters. And in this off-season, you traveled all over the country to talk to players and to work with them in their off-season regimens. What are we seeing?
Yeah, the amount of athleticism out there, one of my big things that I talk, not only to the pros but also to AMs is that we're athletes. Take the silkiest, smoothest thrower out there and it looks effortless, but there's a lot going on inside the body. A lot of stresses and forces put on those, those tendons and those ligaments and those muscles and stuff. So, the athleticism out here that's on display is just, amazing, and you can see it in in the off season. A lot of players, I worked with about 11 players this off season on building up their strength and their stability and their core strength and stuff, and it's showing out here.
It certainly is, and I'll assist you in a few name drops. You worked with some of our sport's best. I think of our 4-time world champion Paige Pierce. I think of a Madison Walker, a Ricky Wysocki, just to name a few. Who are some of the others you worked with and talked with?
Yep, Eric Oakley. I'm working with Chris Dickerson as well. Tina Sinitis, a few others.
Sarah Hokum, I believe
Sarah
you've also
Hokum,
spoken
absolutely.
to.
I've been working with Sarah probably the longest out of everyone else. Yeah.
Okay, well, it's been very impressive, and I think your record speaks for itself, or should I say Chris Dickerson. He's entered 6 events this year. He's won all 6. I'm going to give you all the credit for that.
Yeah. No, Chris is amazing. He's getting his training in 2 to 3 times a week. Still, we're talking every week and making sure that, everything is good with him, and he's just hard charging and it's paying off. He's an amazing talent as it is, but he's really putting in the work too.
Well, certainly gifted, and like you said, paying off. Chris Dickerson is started off to this very hot start here in 2018. Saw Cale come up just a bit short on that uphill putt, and Matt Dollar with his new sponsor, MVP. He's able to take the birdie on hole number 8. Well, Seth, I want to thank you for joining us. I'm sure we'll be talking quite a bit throughout this off-season, as long as you don't shake me down too hard. I know I've got to get in the gym and get some workouts in myself, and I look forward to talking to you more to get in better shape out here as we're going to be hiking all around the country here in 2018.
We are. I'll be at probably, 10 events this year, so we'll see each other a lot.
All right, buddy. Sounds good.
Thanks a lot, Terry.
And as our second to last card clears off the green on 8, I think we're going to be able to yet again swing over and hopefully give you the catch on hole number, the tee of hole 8 with our featured card. See if we can find a rhythm for these players and for the broadcast once we get past this very large speed bump. That is the waiting area found on hole number 8. Giving Nate Doss the all clear. Please go out and like and share this broadcast. Let everyone know you're watching live disc golf. We've got the next 3 days. A little more than 3.5 rounds of action to bring you. As I'm again seeing the fountain go off, it must be the top of the hour. And Doss is coming in at the trees, and it finally finishes. That is not the optimum place to land after catching the uppermost limbs of those trees. Wysocki, second to tee. I'm expecting Wysocki to throw it pretty much directly over my head with a hyzer. And he's doing just that, going up and over and putting himself in great position. That is the best drive of the last 10 to 12 drives that we've seen here on hole number 8. Seppo has just as much distance, if not more. We'll see if he takes the same route. And he cuts it a little bit tighter to the trees. He's almost going to land as he circles around one of the recreational tee pads that's found out here. Correction, that may in fact not be a tee pad. That may have been a old mounting cement block that we've seen for some of the benches out here at the Fountain Hills course. And McBeth is going to the best shot of the day here, and he is safe. Let's see how the women did on hole 8.
Like the men, the women even had a backup here on hole number 8 this morning. 570 feet, par 4. Paige's shot easily navigates around the guardian trees and puts herself in great position to be able to attack this peninsula green. Katrina's is off and to the right, flirting with the OB. It hits the tree, which looks to have saved her. Katrina's got some work to do. Paige putting herself in great position, throwing to the peninsula, but just not enough power. She'll have a look at birdie. Meanwhile, Katrina throwing her third shot. A well-executed approach onto the green. Paige for the birdie, touches basket and chain. Somehow that one slips out on her.
And Nate Doss with a standstill says he's going to go for this. And that is out and beyond where I can see right now. Seppo is giving him a clap. What a call by Nate Doss. He says it's safe. I was not expecting that much of a throw by Doss.
Come on now.
Come on now, he says.
Good wind right now.
He says it's a good wind as the fountain is, like I said, going off. And Seppo and the rest of the card have put themselves in great position here on hole 8. This is the second and final par 4 on this course. And as I'm just cresting the hill personally, I see that Nate Doss made it by a few inches. Wysocki blessed with a long jump putt to be able to approach here, sitting underneath the basket for his birdie 3. And the sun is finally poking out, feeling a little bit of that Arizona heat. It's been unseasonably cool here, not just for the last few days, but especially today. Barely getting up to 60 degrees. And McBeth with a great lunging jump putt as well. He puts himself 12 feet left of the pin. Our players will maneuver around, find themselves on this peninsula. As I said, holes 7, 8, and 9 all play to the peninsula green. Paul McBeth famously a few years ago shot his 17 under par out here. He had missed hole 9, which many would claim is a little bit of a tweener between that par 3 and par 4 calling. Nate Doss has a good look at birdie here. This is uphill. He can give it a pretty solid putting stroke. And trying not to fall forward, maintaining his balance. And Doss's putter seems to be hot today. He's working the hardest for the birdie here. Meanwhile, it looks like his other 3 card mates should all be carding birdies. And I will go ahead and put any amount of money you guys would like. Not that I'm a betting man. I would say this is the only card of the entire day out of 4 people where all 4 of them take the birdie. That is very impressive to play this hole 4 under par. We'll be back with you in a few moments from hole 9.
This is Dan, and this is Tyler. Dan and Tyler like disc, and they like beer, so they combine them in a rigorous scientific process. Disc Golf, a card game that challenges your disc skills, drinking ability, and your friendships. With 3 categories and over 50 individual cards, mix and match. Get rid of cards you don't like, or make your own rules. Disc Golf is truly American.
The Disc Golf Pro Tour and the Memorial Championship presented by Discraft proudly present these top drives of 2017. Number 5, Kale Laviska on hole 6. Takes the low route. Pins it.
Good shot, Kale. Wow.
Number 4, Dave Feldberg, hole 13. Skipper. Number 3, Nico Locastro, hole 4.
Tends to block every putt that wants to go towards that basket. Here's that lower line, which is more good, what you're supposed to do.
Number 2, Nate Sexton, also hole 6, taking the high route.
Kind of like 60% sharp angle.
Yeah, yours was a little bit lower than mine, but off the pole, a little touch of the pole.
Number 1, in part 1 of our top drive, Paige Pierce on hole 1.
Unless your name is Paige Pierce and you're looking to win a tournament. That looks perfect.
We're here on hole number 9. Nate Doss with the honors. Doss takes the inside route off the tee. We'll see just how far he can drive out onto the peninsula. Looks to be about 25 feet, or at least inside the circle. Very impressive drive by Doss. Doss and Wysocki not too far apart. And Seppo's ultimately comes up short of the OB. And McBeth flips up. I think he was looking for a little bit more hyzer finish to that. And it hits the tree, and it does stay safe. We'll see how the women did from a shorter tee on hole 9 earlier.
Hole number 9 features a shorter tee for the women at Fountain Hills. And playing it off the edge of the gunite. Katrina is also low, carrying underneath the tree, but finds herself 45 feet from the pin. Eileen playing it plenty of safe off to the right side. A long birdie look from Paige Pierce comes up short. Colleen's approach to this tester, and no problems. Looks like we're going to have a little par party if Kat can tap it in, and she does just that.
Good, buddy. Good. As you can see, Seppo moving toward his lie that came up short of the OB. And Seppo's going to need that to sit. It looks like it did. Seppo's actually looking at me, and as I may be the closest one, it looks like it was safe though. And McBeth coming in nice and flat, checks up right next to the pole. I think just about every professional here would tell you that if you're even looking at a birdie opportunity, you've thrown a very, very impressive shot here on hole number 9. I think just about everyone would tell you this is considered a bonus birdie if you were to get the 2. And Wysocki is looking at just that. Just about at circle's edge with the fountain behind it. And a death putt by Ricky Wysocki. He converts, and Nate Doss is no more than 2 or 3 steps inside of that. I'd like to send a quick shout out and hello to the entire Jenkins family. We're missing Val and Sharon and Leroy, all not here at the memorial, but I'd like to know everyone's thinking about you guys. Hope all is well. And Doss's putt is lifted by the wind, carries up and over the basket, and by his reaction, I'm guessing that did in fact carry all the way to the OB. And Doss already pulling up his left sleeve as they're heading closer to the water's edge. Many will tell you that is in fact a pro move there by Nate Doss. Unfortunately finding the water, however, making sure to put his left hand into the water to retrieve it. Use your non-throwing hand. And really the first mishap that we've seen by Nate Doss here today. There's going to be a wind blowing over his left shoulder, so he's going to, even though he's putting uphill, he's going to want to make sure that he puts enough on it, as the wind may push it down. Just a moment ago, as he was putting the opposite direction, we saw the wind lift his disc up and over the cage. This is a very short putt, so Doss with no problems there. Again, slight hiccup as we're moving on to that back 9 during our opening round as McBeth taps in. We'll be back with you for the back 9 right here at the first round of the 2018 Memorial Championships presented by Discraft. 381 feet on hole number 10. It is, and that may be a very difficult putt for Wysocki. Not so much about the distance, more so the angle. Seppo waiting for just a moment as there's a little bit of commotion taking place behind the tee area. McBeth third to throw. And McBeth looking to hang it out wider as we feel a left to right wind pushing that over. McBeth appears to be within 25 feet of the pin. And Nate Doss kept that tight and catches an early tree about halfway down the fairway. We'll be back after watching the women on hole 10.
Onto the back nine where Paige Pierce is going to need all of that power to find a way to get to hole number 10, coming in at 381 feet. A very well protected green. Katrina will also play it out wide to the right. And I love the height. We'll see if it skips up close enough to the basket for her. Colleen gets hung up by one of those trees. Those trees weren't there 10 years ago. Paige has a long birdie underneath the branch. Cat likes it.
Doss, knowing he's just looking at a 3 from here, places himself 15 feet from the pin. And interestingly, Seppo has to alter his putting style to try and find that gap in the trees. Hits the tree and is short and left. This is the most protected green you'll find out here at the Fountain Hills course. In fact, maybe one of the most protected greens of the entire tournament. Wysocki, outside circle 1. He's reaching out to his right from one knee. I think we're going to see more of a spin putt by Wysocki, unless he has enough room to dip down. It looks like he somewhat of a altered stance and putt there from Wysocki. A little bit frustrated. This hole is very easily one of the most frustrating holes as well, because there are so few good landing zones to really be able to have a clean putt at the basket. Right out of his hand, looked like McBeth's release was low. I think he knew it as well. And you're going to see 4 pars here on hole number 10. I've got to assume that's one of the most common numbers to find on hole 10. I'm sure we could go out to our friends at udisclive.com and can confirm those statistics. Seppo with a tap in, as will McBeth. Just a little over halfway during our opening round. We'll move on to hole 11. We'll be back in a moment.
Hey there, I'm Keith Murray, Tournament Director of the Memorial Championship presented by Discraft. We're at Spinners on the Green in Scottsdale, Arizona. I just want to welcome everybody here to town. Good luck this week. Come by and see us at the shop. We got 10% off for all tournament competitors and even the folks coming out to watch. So check us out online as well, spinnersonthegreen.com, and have fun watching Smashbox TV.
11 for Ricky Wysocki. That's a forehand that plays up and to the right side. Seppo played a little bit of a flip up, however, that is hyzering the entire way and does sit down before finding any OB that's on the left side. Sidewalk and beyond, that is. And McBeth is staring it down. I think he's going to be happy with that drive. This whole tee shot is all about placement here if you're looking at the birdie. And Doss looking to play a little bit of a turn. However, that flipped on him a little early into the hillside and he'll be short. We'll see how the women did earlier on 11.
Beach towel is out again, hole number 11. 390 feet, slightly uphill, with just 2 guardian trees right next to the basket. Light headwind coming at Katrina. That's turned over on her. She's trying to fight that wind. She's on that right-hand side. Standstill approach. She just has to get past those trees, and that's going to leave her in a difficult position. She's not going to get around those and be able to save the par. Meanwhile, Paige lunging. More chains, but walks away with the par.
Go ahead.
And Nate Doss directing a little bit of traffic. Looks like he's going to let Seppo Paju throw his second shot first. Seppo a few steps outside of circle 2. Gives it a long putt. And with the two protective trees right near the basket. Again, placement is paramount here on any drive. Wysocki's going to have to be careful with these angles, or if you were to hit one of the trees, could very easily get up and roll. And he hits the tree on the backstop, and it squares up and stops for him. That's about as good of a break as he could have got there. I've seen far too many putts throughout the years come in and hit and roll. And McBeth with the lone birdie here. Hole number 11. His putter started out a little bit slow. That one an all but gimme for him. And the rest of the card's going to drop in for their pars, correction. And we've got plenty of birdies here to finish out on this first round. We'll be back with you guys in a few moments, and I'll bumble some more words. Smooth flat release by Paul McBeth, throwing a mid-range. I believe that's one of his signature rocks. Wysocki taking a similar route. However, that's diving toward the basket much faster, and it's going to practically land on top of McBeth's, and he has the exact same reaction. Seppo's looks to be a putter coming in a little bit shorter. He's going to be short and left of the pin. Doss opting for a mid-range. And Doss, the only competitor to go out and around the tree on this right side. See if he can play a skip, maybe a little bit of a roll. See what kind of putt he has from there. Let's see how the women did earlier on 12.
Hole number 12, 290 feet, plays about 240 downhill. You take the wide hyzer as Paige is done. Coming up just left of the pin. Katrina's also going to play the wide hyzer. Beautiful overcast skies behind as the backdrop. Kat's got a long look and cans the birdie. She's hoping to get on pace. A little smile as she retrieves her putter. Paige with a short one. This time she converts. Pair birdies.
just up and over the edge for Wysocki. And Paul follows suit, both throwing into a headwind. They were no more than a few feet apart from one another, as we see both of them hit the front of the cage and then just get over the edge. And Seppos is high, hits the basket, then falls in. Little ricochet action from about the same distance. We have Doss. And another star frame from our featured card. We're going to be back with you guys in a few moments from hole number 13 at the Discraft Memorial Championships. Welcome back as we are on hole number 13. Moving into the last 1/3 of the course here on our opening round. This, of course, is the opener for the 2018 Disc Golf Pro Tour. Terry Miller, the Disc Golf guy here. We are in Fountain Hills, Arizona, taking in this beautiful Wednesday afternoon. We're finally feeling a little bit of the warm Arizona temperatures everyone was hoping for, as Paul McBeth plays the skip shot and puts himself to about 22, maybe 25 feet from the pin. This basket is slightly elevated. Speaking of baskets, this is in fact a DGA Mach X basket, which debuted here a number of years ago. And Wysocki going just past it. He finds himself about 18 feet from the pin. He'll be putting uphill to the extended pole. DGA, of course, a proud supporter and sponsor of the Disc Golf Pro Tour here in 2018, and about the same distance for Seppu Paju. So far we have 3 discs, all within 25 feet of the pin. And Doss just skims the top of the hill, comes up, just misses the pole, and lands 10 feet from the pin. Let's see how the women navigated hole 13.
Perched up from behind the pin, we see Katrina with the low look here on hole 13, which also features an elevated basket. And she curls around it. She's looking at an easy birdie from there. Colleen Thompson also going with the low skip shot. Comes up short of the pin, gets the curl. She's looking at less than 15 feet. Easy birdie conversion as Paige Pierce is trying to regain some of that muscle memory after missing a short putt. Katrina's going to take her time. And that's a birdie on 13.
and not quite centering enough for Seppo. McBeth finds the heart of the chains, and as he retrieves his disc, I'm taking a look at the leaderboard to see that in the clubhouse we currently have 3 players sitting at 10 under par. This is Wysocki for birdie. And that will push Nate Doss to 7 under par. And Seppo taps in for the par. We're moving on to 14. We'll be back in a moment.
Someone to ace and be a cool perspective to look around when everyone's so happy.
Welcome back. We are here on hole number 14 as we're watching the second to last card of the day tap out. I'm going to give you a few updates that we're seeing on the leaderboard. A moment ago I was talking about the 10 under pars being the leader. Johnny McRae may be challenging that in a few moments. He's through 17 holes and he has just moved himself to 10 under par. So depending on what McRae does on his final hole of the round, we may find him in an outright lead if he can push himself to 11 under par. KJ Naibo joining that club of 10 unders. So we currently have 4 at 10 under. Eric Oakley sitting at 9 under. Ricky Wysocki, as we saw not too long ago, shows Ricky Wysocki at 9 under through 13 holes. Simon Lizotte in the clubhouse at 9 under. McBeth playing the hyzer out and around again, 375 feet, and that sticks the landing. That is exactly what he needed. With the downward slope, this hole is very easy to catch a flat skip and then find yourself OB. McBeth did exactly not that. His shot far more eloquent than my description of it, as Wysocki tries to play it. It gets on edge, and we see it rolling toward the crowd, and that is in fact out of bounds, and it even finds the water. What an unfortunate break by Ricky Wysocki. And Nate Doss's shot turns over as he looks up to the sky. Seppo playing it higher and wider than all of his previous competitors. Also sticks the landing that will be obstructed. We'll see you after the women on 14.
Hole number 14 featuring a headwind playing downhill at 375 feet. And Katrina's fighting the wind, however it stays to the right. Colleen Thompson's is turning over. There is OB on that left side where the downslope plays to. Paige doing pure hyzer that flips up on her. Just not going to make it over the mound. That's where you need to play from the skip. Paige with a long run at that. Goes up and over. She's flirting with the OB. She's got the comebacker and just sneaks it in. That's 3 pars on 14.
Oh, and Wysocki gives it a really good bid. He is definitely frustrated as he swipes up his mini. Doss with really no options here other than just trying to get as close to the pin as possible. That 4-pronged tree can prevent many looks at birdie or even par, so you just want to get as close to that tree as possible. Also, you see an electrical box that can come into play, which players sometimes have to throw over. It looks like Seppo will be doing just that. However, he is very close to this pin. And McBeth also in for the birdie. He's going to pick up 2 strokes on Wysocki, as Wysocki had gone OB, so we'll see 2 birdies, the par from Doss and the bogey from Wysocki. We're moving on to hole 15 where they can air it out at the Fountain Hills Disc Golf Course.
I'm Ricky Wysocki, and I'm wondering who's going to be the next generation.
If you didn't take the next gen tour seriously, you definitely should come in future years because it's only going to get better.
Let's do this, guys.
They're up and coming superstars.
Go to a local level, then you qualify for your regional level, then you qualify for a national level. The prizes get bigger, and the pressure gets tougher.
I just, I get goosebumps thinking about it. It was a really, really good time.
The Disc Golf Pro Tour and the Memorial Championship presented by Discraft proudly present these top drives of 2017. Number 5, Kale Leviska on hole 6. Takes the low route. Pins it.
Good shot, Kale. Wow.
Number 4, Dave Feldberg, hole 13. Skipper. Number 3, Nico Locastro, hole 4.
Tends to block every putt that wants to go towards that basket. Here's that lower line, which is more good what you're supposed to do.
Number 2, Nate Sexton, also hole 6, taking the high route.
Kind of like 60%.
My name's Paige Pierce, and you're looking to win a tournament. That looks perfect.
Yeah, man.
You guys are riding the Jeep, right? Like setting up again.
And Paul McBeth with a low line drive that finds himself up on the left side of the hill on hole number 15. Playing through the splash there by Paju. Hole 15 is listed at 426 feet. I believe it plays all of that and then some. And Doss plays the turnover, and that's going to have a late finish to it. And just about perfect. It's Nate Doss's tee shot here on hole 15. And Wysocki's going to go up and over the tree, playing all hyzer the entire way. And we'll see what kind of putt he has from there. Let's check in with the women earlier on 15.
Katrina Allen with the honors on hole 15 at 426 feet. This is a bonus birdie. Katrina finds the casual pond on that right side of the fairway. The sun is finally out.
So, and I always slip.
Colleen's also turning over. That's got to fight back towards the fairway. Of an easy approach from there, and Paige Pierce with a very quick and long run up. Paige has unleashed a rip that finishes left side looking at the pin. Colleen's playing over the casual water with a great looking approach shot. And Katrina has really no other options but the layup, as does Paige. All three women taking pars on hole 16.
Little fist pump by Sapo as he's out there in the casual water. 4 very impressive drives here on hole number 15. Paul McBeth, about 23 feet. Easy cleanup for McBeth. I think we're looking at yet another star frame. That's if Wysocki can get around the, possibly split the 2 trees between him and the basket. And a little stutter step by Wysocki to make sure that he did not foot fault. He maintained his balance and composure there. That was certainly close though. We're going to see an outstretched Nate Doss. Nate Doss high and tight on that right side, but still takes the birdie. We'll be back with you at 16.
The Dynamic Disc Recruit is a tournament quality basket at a practice level price. The Recruit is the ultimate basket for backyard practice or temporary courses. Get ready for tournaments. Get better. Get the Recruit.
Inches, I could have put straight on that one.
That's what made me think of it.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah, on a drive, for sure. Yeah.
Paul McBeth on the tee here at hole 16, 327 feet. And he puts it to within 10. This is a very routine shot for all of these competitors. Seppo with a lower shot that's skipping up toward the basket. No surprise, hole 16 playing as the easiest hole according to par. Nate Doss a little bit short with his Predator. Wysocki playing the fade from right to left. That should put him definitely inside the circle. We're moving on from hole 16.
Yep.
Back it up.
Doss appears to be furthest out. Looks like Wysocki's about the same distance. Of course, both of them within approximately 20 feet of the pin. And Wysocki, looking straight into the sun, lifts that one and it rolls almost all the way back the same distance. He'll step aside, collect himself, while Seppo throws his second putt, or should I say second throw. And that one, after a collective breath holding, ends up falling into the bottom of the basket. I think as Seppo was putting into that headwind, just as he had seen from Wysocki, it lifted and then ultimately slid down the chains and in. Had a hard time collecting all my words for that one. It's been a long day. We're through 16. We'll see you on 17 in just a few moments.
Tempura Craft, USA. Double wall, 18/8 stainless steel construction. Keeps it cold while you're hot. Keeps it hot while you're cold. Get your customized growlers, tumblers, and sports bottles. With a lifetime warranty and 1% back to the planet. Tempura Craft, USA. Temper your thirst.
Well, he'll just focus on the...
The Disc Golf Pro Tour and the Memorial Championship presented by Discraft present Hot Drives from 2017, Part 2. Number 5, Simon Lazat, hole 1.
As soon as he let this go, he turned around and said, I missed it again.
Yep.
But
right.
Oh, nearly.
Number 4, Katrina Allen, hole 16.
Definitely get this one. That doesn't work. Oh, man.
Just bing.
Are we ready for that one to skip in quick?
I was, man. I was so excited.
Number 3, Ricky Wysocki, hole 17.
It's going shot time here.
That flight follower.
Oh, I think it would have been just over the basket, maybe, now that I see it here.
Number 2, Simon Lazat, back to hole 16.
That was pretty sweet,
man. I mean, if that was a golf ball, he would have stuck it.
Yeah.
And number 1, Philo Brathwaite, hole 5.
Oh. I heard the cheers.
For me, it's time with my friends.
For me, it's a walk in the park.
For me, it's my job.
For me, it's fun.
These are the top 10 putts from the 2017 Memorial Championship presented by Discraft. Number 10, Isaac McDonald on the 18. Number 9.
Paul McBeth making sure to hang his destroyer out wide. We'll see how much of a skip he gets. And looks like McBeth is within 10 feet of the pin. And Seppo goes even wider. We'll have to see if he's playing for a longer skip than McBeth, and no, it catches edge and stops. Dawson knows that's going to finish short and left. Puts his head down as it didn't look like it was a full power shot. Thanks to UDisc Live, I see that 8% of the field has parked this hole here on hole number 17. That's a big skip for Wysocki. He'll have a putt looking at birdie from inside the circle. We'll see you after the women on 17.
Hole 17 with a beautiful backdrop as the fountain goes off at the top of the hour every hour. Really not too much for them to worry about. You're trying to get it out as far as you can. You definitely want to miss to the right if you're going to miss anywhere. Colleen's left center fairway. I've seen Paige Pierce overdrive 17 in the past. You can see if she can ride any of that wind, and it looks like she's going to be left side, just outside of circle 2. Katrina with the layup, leaving herself a little bit of a tester, and Paige looking at a long birdie and grabs more chain. He has left a few out there today. Meanwhile, Colleen Thompson's par from way back is good.
Okay, you got ready. And just like we see on hole number 11, there are just 2 trees that protect the basket. However, hole 11 can be much more punishing with the slope of the hill. And Doss finds himself just about at circle 2 edge. That was a really good looking run from this vantage point. Ricky Wysocki has put himself in great position. If you want to be anywhere, it's, I would say, left and long of the basket. That's exactly what Wysocki is. And he cards the birdie too. Routine birdie putt for Paul McBeth. We're glad that you've joined us here today during the opening round. It's of course the 2018 Disc Golf Pro Tour opener. Memorial Championships presented by Discraft. We're excited to bring you the 18th and final hole of the day. We'll be back with you in just a few moments.
These are the top 10 putts from the 2017 Memorial Championship presented by Discraft. Number 10, Isaac McDonald on the 18.
Yeah! Good one, Isaac.
Number 9, Cale Lavisco, hole 5.
Oh, Cale Lavisco.
Boom, buddy.
Number 8, Nate Sexton, hole 10.
Oh, wow. Tasty one right through that bush.
Number 7, Nate Sexton, hole 16.
That's 180 right there.
Number 6, Eagle McMahon, hole 8.
Okay, good.
Number 5, Cale Lavisco, hole 4.
Yeah!
Number 4, Simon Lazat, hole 6.
Well done.
Number 3, Philo Brathwaite, 17.
Framed up. Nice. Awesome putt.
Between the trees. Number 2, Jessica Weiss, hole 6.
Ooh, dude. That was sick.
And our number 1 putt from the 2017 Memorial.
Yeah. Nope.
What?
Nate Sexton, hole 12.
Nate, you dog.
And welcome back. You may have just seen Cale Lavisca with his putt here on hole number 18 as our second to last card of the day wraps up. Nate confirms that Cale in fact was out of bounds, so that was for his par save here on 18. 18 coming in at 400 feet, throwing almost directly into the sunlight. Paul McBeth will have the honors here on the 18th hole of the day. Sees there's a little headwind coming directly at him. I believe he has a fairway driver. And a laser from McBeth. That is heading right at the basket. He just needs it to settle down. Gets a little bit of a skip, and he is safe. Very impressive final drive here by Paul McBeth. And Wysocki plays that as a little bit of a turnover. And it's hyzering back into this side of the hill. It's going to be short, but no threat of finding the water with that shot. And Seppo's going to need for that to turn, and it's done just that. That's going to land flat and safe. Short but inbounds for Seppo. And Nate Doss takes a very similar line that we saw from Seppo, but that's finishing a little harder and hits the side and falls into the water. We're going to move on, seeing the women play to the shorter basket on 18.
Katrina Allen playing to the shorter basket found on hole 18 as we're about to complete round 1. The 2018 Disc Golf Pro Tour Opener Memorial Championships presented by Discraft. Colleen Thompson playing it plenty safe. In fact, maybe just a bit too much. She goes OB after that one turns over as she's fighting that fierce headwind. Paige opts for a little more stability. She's going to play the straight hyzer and puts herself in putting range again. Paige can finish out the round with a birdie. Oh, and as she said, she wants to just make one. Paige will come in as your clubhouse leader, even with the missed opportunities. Katrina misses from 15 feet. Looking forward to Vista del Camino for the second round with the women.
Doss trying to save par. Just a bit on the left side of the basket. He's going to finish today with a bogey 4 on 18. And Seppo does not grab any metal as he's putting directly into the sunlight. McBeth finds himself pin high just inside the circle's edge. And McBeth finishes with the par here on hole 18 in the opening round. Wysocki, the only one left with a birdie opportunity. And Wysocki comes up short. Not the display you would expect here as the gallery of a few hundred people are watching on. All 4 competitors challenged by the putting green here on 18. A very dejected and disappointed card as they're finishing out here on 18. They're going to finish 1 over par for the group. What we're going to do is we're going to stand down for a few moments as these players get their scorecards together, add up their scores, and we'll see if we can come back from that. We're also going to give you a few highlights from the day. They won't include hole 18, but we'll be back with you in just a few moments as these guys add up their scorecards. We'll see you soon.
For me, it's time with my friends.
For me, it's a walk in the park.
For me, it's my job. Go in. Oh.
For me, it's all about the exercise.
For me, it fits into my busy lifestyle.
For me, it's my passion.
For us, it doesn't cost much to play.
For me, it's fun.
Well, we're just standing here, so you just have to tell me what's going on. Do you want me to finger count you?
Ooh.
I'll count you in?
Sounds intrusive.
Okay, I'm going to then close out the show. Joining me now is Nate Doss. If we've just completed the first round here at the Memorial Championships presented by Discraft, and Nate, hole 18.
Yeah.
I don't want to harp, but that's the hole we just watched. You guys didn't finish with the bang.
No.
Are you ready to be done here for the day, though?
Not really. I want some more still, but yeah, I had the right line. I just didn't get the right pop on it. I mean, it was right on line, exactly what I wanted. Just didn't turn over enough. But yeah, the guys missing putts like that on the last hole, it just seems so anticlimactic. We had a big crowd there, and but you know, it's the first round. You know, we're all focused on what we need to do, and it was a fun day out there for the most part. Darn clouds kept coming in, making it a little colder than we expected, but it was fun overall.
Well, and coming in on that final hole, we ultimately see Wysocki finish with 10 under par. I believe both you and McBeth finish with 8 under par, and then Seppo with a 6 under par. And right now, 10's the leader. I think there's 4 or 5 of them, but 10's the leader, so you're just 2 off that pace.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's frustrating. I could have just played it a little bit more to the right there and been 1 behind the lead. At this tournament, man, 1 stroke is a lot, really. I mean, everybody seems to do about the same on most every holes. Although Vista does have a little bit more of a scoring separation, so it'll be interesting to see what happens after tomorrow. But yeah, it was a weird day. The wind really wasn't a factor, but then, it kind of was. I don't know. Again, it's the first round. It's Fountain Hills, and I'm not surprised to see 10 be the lead. It's usually double digits.
Well, and we saw your putter was hot early on, and then the one rare time it failed you out there, it got up and over on you on hole number 9. I think it carried over the basket. Otherwise, your putter looked pretty good today, besides 9 and 18.
Yeah, I mean, 18, I was putting direct. I couldn't even see the basket, even with my glasses on. I mean, sun was right into it. Maybe that affected McBeth, too. But, yeah, the putter felt great. And that one on 9, what can I do? Ricky putted right before me, and I told him, dude, that was absolutely perfect. I mean, I was sitting right behind him, and the disc went into the basket, like, perfectly. And all I could do was envision that, and then I fluffed it, and I didn't have the right spin. So, whatever. But no, it was a good day on the putting green, and so off the tee, but been dealing with a little bit of shoulder issues and just trying to battle through that. I'm not sure if I could make it through this one all the way, but I'm gonna give it a shot and just keep going. Yeah.
Well, I know. In talking to you prior to the event, you seemed a little bit hesitant. You were talking a little bit about that shoulder. So to see you come out here and battle, to play really well throughout this entire opening round, we hope to see you more out here on the course. And do you have to ice it? What are you going to do this afternoon?
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of therapy at this point. It's kind of ice it, get a hot shower, ice it again. Try to just massage on it, take care of it. I at the end of the day, I actually hurt this back last year at the USDGC, so it's frustrating that it's lingered on this long. But injuries are part of being an athlete, and you just have to manage it. And if I ever feel like I'm going to injure myself more, I'm just going to step out and not do that. But at this point, I feel like I'm maintaining, and just have to hope for the best.
All right. Well, I don't want to push you off the course, but if you find yourself off the course, you're always welcome here on the mic, and I think a lot of people would appreciate that. So
definitely.
All right, pal. Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to close things out. It's been a great day. I want to thank Matt here on the camera, as well as Rick, and then of course Johnny V, along with Gary to the O back in the studios, the entire Disc Golf Pro Tour crew, along with the Memorial Championships crew. Everyone trying to make everything as best as we can, and we're going to look for some more improvements throughout the week as we're just getting started. Just like you guys, I feel like there's a few places we can button things up tomorrow. I think you're going to see that from the broadcast, and I look forward to that challenge personally. So for Nate Doss and myself, Terry Miller, the Disc Golf Guy, and for everyone here at Smashbox, we'll see you guys tomorrow. We're looking at 2 p.m. Mountain Time. Join us for the live broadcast. We'll see you then when you step inside the Smashbox.
if you heard me or not, but I was like, dude, please, you gotta put this on. I want to play more holes.
I know.
I wanted to see you make this.
I definitely felt the love. A lot of people were cheering for me when we make this putt.
Yeah.